And I was earlier, it was the manifestation of the presiding officer, the Madam Chairperson, that after Senator Lacson, I be allowed to speak, Mr. President. Are we now curtailing my right to speak, Mr. President?
Madam Chair,
We are
can
not
I
able
answer
to
that?
ask questions as to why we are amending the rules. We are not able to ask questions as to who they wish,
Madam Chair, may I answer?
who will benefit from the amendment to the rules.
For the
Is this
kind
rule, Mr.
information
President?
of
Is
the-
this rule, Mr. President, for
I was
Senator
about to
Bato, who is not
recognize
here?
Senator
We would
Pangilinan.
like to raise these valid questions, Mr. President, before we go into a vote.
If you think we violated the rule, then go to court. But we do not think that we violated the rule. It is very clear. So my point of order, Madam Chair, they're out of order by insisting that there's another rule except for 136. So I move that we vote on it, Madam Chair. We divide the House.
Objection.
No.
Objection.
If there's an objection, then we vote. So may we proceed with the
President.
vote, Madam President?
Mr. President, I was earlier, it was the manifestation of the presiding officer, the Madam Chairperson, that after Senator Lacson, I be allowed to speak, Mr. President. Are we now curtailing my right to speak, Mr. President?
Madam Chair,
We are
can I
not
answer
able to
that?
ask questions as to why we are amending the rules. We are not able to ask questions as to who they wish,
Madam Chair, may I answer?
who will benefit from the amendment to the rules.
For the
Is this
kind
rule, Mr.
information
President?
of
Is
the-
this rule, Mr. President, for
I was
Senator
about to
Bato, who is not
recognize
here?
Senator
We would
Pangilinan.
like to raise these valid questions, Mr. President, before we go into a vote, Mr.
Madam Chair.
President.
Yes,
These,
just-
we should not be...
How can
our-
the presiding officer recognize Senator Pangilinan? Please know that I would never curtail your right to speak. Just as in 2004, I believe you were seated, and I was a vice presidential candidate of FPJ then, and my microphone was closed, and my right to speak was closed, was not given. I remember that time now, and the word noted was said to me. That will not happen now. I will not do that to you. And I'm not curtailing your right to speak, Senator Pangilinan, except that you were speaking at the same time. And I was about to recognize you because Senator Lacson had the floor.
Thank you, Madam President, for
So
that
I just wanted to be clear on record because I
If,
recognize you're being emotional, but it will go on Senate record that the presiding officer was curtailing your right to speak. I would never do that. And I would not do what I experienced in 2004 in the House of Representatives in the canvassing of the votes then.
Mr. President.
Thank you.
Madam President, with due respect, Mr. President, I was
I'm
not
yielding-
referring to the
Madam
presiding
President,
officer.
Yeah, I'm yielding the floor to Senator Pangilinan.
Yes, thank you, Senator Lacson. We recognize Senator Francis Pangilinan.
Yes, Mr. President, and allow me to clarify, Madam President. I was not referring to the presiding officer in terms of the curtailing of my right to speak and to raise questions, Mr. President, because it was the Senate President who was moving to divide the House, Mr. President, without sufficient debates. Mr. President, this is the first time I'm going to experience this in a long time wherein debates are now being curtailed because there's a
Since you're
motion
not
to
being
divide the
curtailed,
House.
we would like to hear your objection to the motion. Thank you.
Mr. President, there are a lot of questions that have to be raised as to why this amendment to the rules is being undertaken at this time. Precedent provides, Mr. President, that when we amend our rules, we do so by way of resolution. We do not have that resolution now. In fact, Mr. President, a total 48 amendments of our rules all went through resolutions. This is the first time after 48 amendments, Mr. President, that we do not have a resolution so that we can
Point
vote
of order, Madam Chair.
and amend the rules properly, Mr. President.
Point of order. Point of order takes
Yes,
precedence.
Senate President. Point of order takes
Yes.
precedence.
First
over
of all,
everything else.
I hope we learned our lesson. Senator Pangilinan already apologized to Senator Padilla, then now you're shouting at us. No? No, the record will show, nakatape naman eh. Ang taas-taas ng boses nyo eh. Di ba? You were shouting at kaya nga hindi magkarinigan. Now, what's my point of order? We are not discussing the merits yet of the amendment. No one's curtailing your rights because wala pa tayo dun eh. Ang pinagbobotohan natin ngayon, kung pwedeng i-take up sa floor o hindi. Yun ang itina-take up natin. And the arguments have already been laid out. And Senator Pangilinan and I were together in 2009 where we had debates here where Senator Enrile did not even allow amendments. And then we voted. It depends on every issue, Madam Chair. There's no specific rule of the amount of time. I was asking the gentleman about certain issues in one resolution. He refused nga for further interpellation and said it's time to vote. They were the majority. So, Madam Chair, we're here. We're willing. Senator Marcoleta is ready to take questions. Ang pinagbobotohan lang po natin ngayon, simple lang. Whether or not we can take, whether or not the proposal to amend the rules is in order. Yung pa lang ho. Yung specific amendment, sino magbe-benefit, paano magbe-benefit, etc. We support the right of Senator Pangilinan to ask questions, pero wala pa tayo dun eh. So, again, may I raise the previous question, Madam Chair, the point of order, the parliamentary reason. Go ahead.
Be given the right
Madam
to speak.
President,
I am the
kanina pa
movant
po
here.
ako nakatayo dito at
I need to
nagtataas ng
speak
kamay.
because I am the movant.
Senator
Madam
Rodante
President.
Marcoleta.
Thank you, Madam
And then we
President.
hear Senator Risa Ondevero.
Thank you,
and
Madam
Senator
President.
Problema
Erwin
natin,
Tulfo.
Madam President.
Yes.